My name is Lance Bell. You know the topic of this week's show. However, I am going to look at it from a different angle today. I want to preface everything with this. All lives matter, no matter what. They do matter. Bottom line. Now, is there an issue within the black community? Sure, but we can be our own worst enemy, and what I've seen this week, that is. As an example, the Black Lives Matter protest in Minneapolis. Now, when I first started to see reports coming in from there, I was not happy. You do not for any reason block any road without a permit, and they know that. What really made me mad was what happened when the police officer was severely hurt when that cinder block dropped on him. I thought it was just clickbait until I saw the report from KARE, and I was going to say this right now. Whomever did that needs to be charged, and whomever says otherwise need to look themselves in the mirror and ask, why are we doing this? You look like a lynch mob when you do that in the eyes of the country. Furthermore, what happened on the Interstate 40 bridge in Memphis, that is no excuse. If that child died because of that, every single one of you need to be charged with accessory to murder. You cannot justify that in any way if that happened. Now, you're probably wondering why I am not defending these protests. The first two I mentioned, I am not. Now, in the case of Minneapolis, there was a reason to protest, but not that way, and that leads me to what happened in Baton Rouge. It was a dumpster fire in the city of the Red Stick. Now, those officers should be charged with murder. No doubt about that. However, I'm going to address something. What Leisha Evans did is Pulitzer Prize level, and there is no question about that. It takes a lot to do that, and I applaud her for that. My issue is what happened, people online are comparing her to, and that is Tank Man. You have to go back into the Wayback Machine to understand that situation. Here was a man taking on basically the entire Chinese army with the world watching live, and I will tell every single one of you right now, nobody, and I mean nobody, has the size of rocks he had living right now. There is no comparison, no matter how you slice it. Now, the president was in Dallas this week at the Interfaith Memorial Service, and he spoke for a while, and it's a good speech. Now, I'm not going to play the entire speech. It is 35 minutes long. But here is part of that speech.
And when anyone, no matter how good their intentions may be, paints all police as biased or bigoted, we undermine those officers we depend on for our safety. And as for those who use rhetoric suggesting harm to police, even if they don't act on it themselves, well, they not only make the jobs of police officers even more dangerous, but they do a disservice to the very cause of justice that they claim to promote. You can't simply dismiss it as a symptom of political correctness or reverse racism. To have your experience denied like that, dismissed by those in authority, dismissed perhaps even by your white friends and co-workers and fellow church members, again and again and again, it hurts. Surely we can see that, all of us. We also know what Chief Brown has said is true. That so much of the tensions between police departments and minority communities that they serve is because we ask the police to do too much and we ask too little of ourselves.
President Obama is correct. There is a lot of tension, and there should not be at all for any reason. Not all cops are bad, and we all know that. There are bad cops in police departments around the world, and the action of the few should never be correlation to all. On Wednesday, he had another press conference on the community policing and criminal justice. Now, they are trying, but it just sounded so canned, and I just wanted to see some emotion. Maybe it's just me on that one, but I know people feel the same way about that. Now, Black Lives Matter. They issued a list of demands that I will have to say are very reasonable, with the exception of one. And that is the second one, having community oversight. They want an independent group to review all cases and dole out the punishment since, police departments might be a tad on biased. That is a huge issue for me. You are basically opening a door for vigilante justice before anyone has all the facts, and I am against that all the way. We have too much of that now online. Now, with this show being so negative, I actually have some good news. Here in Akron, as I've always said before and continue to say it, we do things differently here. On Monday, this city did what this city's always done. We sit down and hammer it out. Wesley Ian and Jeffrey Lau organized Understanding Black and White at the Grand Exchange. Now, this reporter could not attend due to scheduling, but it was taped. In this short clip, here's what Wesley wanted to accomplish.
Well, we're here because we don't know each other well enough. There's been a lot of things that's been going on in the media that really isn't new. This is just, it's a wake-up call to everybody that we gotta figure this thing out. And one of the biggest problems I see is that we don't know each other well enough. Different people just don't know each other well enough. We have all these preconceived notions, and we act on that and believe what we want to believe and spread that message out to people, where the message we need to spread is just better understanding. I really hope that everybody here just speaks up and just says what's on our mind and just starts talking about things. That's what we're all about. That's what today is going to be about.
Now, I recommend everyone to watch this, and I want to show one more clip of a citizen here and what he had to say.
There is this image that when I see a black guy with a gun, whether he's a police officer shooting somebody in a car, whether it's somebody who I see on BET, Lil Wayne or somebody talking about violence, like, I see somebody that I should fear. You know what I mean? Because that's the image that's pumped to us. So if you walk in a certain neighborhood, the news would have made you think that neighborhood was a lot worse than it was. And I live in one of those neighborhoods, and it's not that bad. My kids play up and down the street, and I didn't grow up in a poverty-stricken neighborhood or anything like that. So I know the difference. I know what it's like to have white friends and to feel free to run all around and everything like that. But now I know what it's like to live in an all-black community, but still have that comfort and peace, because it's like, just because I'm on this street or in this area that the news portrays as being so bad, like, these are people. They have hearts. Like, you may work a job that makes $7 an hour. You still have a heart. You're still a human. You still try to do the best that you can to take care of your kids. Your kids are still cool coming over here with my kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that if anything would spark, like, any kind of change, it's that if anybody who's, like, white, even us, like, black people, you know what I'm saying? Like, when we hear those stereotypes, when we see those stereotypes, we can encourage our friends with positive experiences that we've had with black people. You know what I'm saying? We could talk about the few speakers that have come up today and tell them about this event. Like, just kind of killing the nonsense with positivity. You know what I mean? Like, I think that that's something that everybody could do on a ground level, to kill the chaos.
He was right. This is one of the main ways of doing it. Now, I hope that every city does it this way. I really do. Will it actually happen? Only time will tell on that. We still have a long road ahead of us, and I sincerely hope we, as a country, can squash this nonsense and continue to build.